Hello everyone, welcome to TutorialsPoint. In this video, we are going to discuss about the transport of various gases, specifically oxygen and carbon dioxide. So we'll first start a discussion with the oxygen transport. So let's see how oxygen is transported. Now, we know hemoglobin. This is a pigment which is present in the RBCs or the red blood cells in case of human beings. So this is a red colored pigment in RBCs of human beings. Now this hemoglobin, this pigment, it has the capability to bind with oxygen. Now a hemoglobin which is bound with oxygen, such kind of state is known as oxyhemoglobin, right? So oxyhemoglobin is a state of hemoglobin which is bound with oxygen. Now each of these hemoglobin molecules, each of these can bind to 4 oxygen molecules. Now what are the different factors which actually govern or which actually decide the formation of oxyhemoglobin? So there are 4 basic factors. Those are the partial pressure of oxygen, partial pressure of carbon dioxide, the hydrogen ion concentrations in the cells and the tissues, and the temperature. So these are the 4 different conditions which actually decide the formation of oxyhemoglobin. Now let us study one of the important curves which is known as the oxygen dissociation curve. So what is this? This is a curve which is obtained if we try to plot the partial pressure of oxygen against the percentage saturation of hemoglobin in the blood with oxygen. If we try to plot this curve, we will get a sigmoid curve, that is a S-shaped curve, as you can see over here. So here we have plotted the sigmoid curve is obtained when the percentage saturation of hemoglobin is plotted against hemoglobin with oxygen is plotted against the partial pressure of oxygen. So this is the curve which we obtain. This is known as the oxygen dissociation curve. Now this curve, what is the importance of this curve? This curve actually helps to study the factors like partial pressure of carbon dioxide, hydrogen ion concentration, etc. So how these factors are affecting the oxygen dissociation curve or the formation of oxyhemoglobin can be studied by this sigmoid curve or oxygen dissociation curve. Now let's study at the alveoli, what are the different factors which is actually helping the formation of oxyhemoglobin. So the factors are like the partial pressure of oxygen is quite high at the alveoli. The partial pressure of carbon dioxide is low and the hydrogen ion concentration is lower as well as the temperature is low. So these are the 4 different conditions at the alveoli which actually favor the formation of oxyhemoglobin. Now let's see what is happening at the tissues. We have looked into what are the conditions which favor the formation of oxyhemoglobin at the alveoli. Now let's see what are the conditions at the tissues. At the tissues, the partial pressure of oxygen is quite low, whereas the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is high, because we know after metabolism carbon dioxide is released. So the partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the cells and the tissues is quite high. Whereas the higher hydrogen ion concentration, so hydrogen ion concentration in the tissues is quite high, as well as the temperature is also quite high as compared to that of the alveoli. So these are the 4 different conditions which actually favors the dissociation of oxygen from oxyhemoglobin or from hemoglobin. So these are the conditions which are low partial pressure of oxygen, higher partial pressure of carbon dioxide, high H+ ion concentration and higher temperature. So these are the 4 conditions which actually allows the dissociation, so that the hemoglobin is leaving oxygen in order so that the tissues and the cells can utilize this oxygen for their metabolic activities. Now 100 ml of oxygenated blood which is getting oxygenated at the alveoli, it can deliver around about 5 ml of oxygen to the cells and the tissues for their metabolic activities. So in this video we have discussed about the transport of gases, which is about the transport of oxygen. We have discussed about a very important curve which is known as the oxygen dissociation curve. We have also talked about what are the different conditions at the tissues and at the alveoli levels which actually decide the formation of oxyhemoglobin and the dissociation of oxygen from oxyhemoglobin. I hope you have understood and liked this video. Thank you.